Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to PSGL Season 27. This is the F2 tier, and we are back racing once again. And by the 8th of March, we will know who is the PSGL F2 champion. And what a track started all off, the Albert Park circuit in Melbourne for the Australian Grand Prix. My name is Jess, also known as JessGames95, and once again, I'll be one of your commentators throughout this season. And joining me in the comms box for a second season in a row, Dan is back. We have Dan. Hello, Dan. How are you doing? Are you excited to be back?
Yeah, of course I'm excited to be back. It's one of the biggest leagues on the platform, and of course, such a high caliber grid we've got here. Some new guys coming in, and we've also got some returning faces. One of them, importantly, being our remaining champion, Tomato. He's still in F2 this season, and I'm hoping he can pick up some good results today.
Yes, and the reason why we got a different grid to what we usually would be expecting is for the very first time in a while, the line has been turned off, which means F2 is joining F1 with being a no assist tier. So that's going to make things very, very intriguing. That's why a lot of the F2 drivers from last season have dropped down to F3, mainly because they can't use no assist, so they would have been in F2 if that wasn't the case, but there we go. So we'll have a quick look at the calendar before we take you through the drivers. So we got Australia, which is the opening round this week, obviously. And then on the 14th, we've got Great Britain in Silverstone. That's where we were last season as well. Another familiar track from last season we go to in round 3 on the 21st of December in Belgium. Then we go to France on the 11th of January. Monaco on the 18th of January, and then we end the halfway point in Italy on the 25th of January. Then we got Russia for round 7 on the 1st of February. Then on the 8th of February we have Singapore, then USA, Mexico, and we got the penultimate round in Abu Dhabi, and then Japan, the season finale. So some interesting tracks we've got there, and it's going to provide a challenge for the drivers, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. At the beginning of the calendar, it looks like we've got some well, driver favourite tracks, you know, Britain and Spa, some of the most popular circuits on the entire calendar. And then later on in the season, we get a lot more technical with the circuits. You know, we got Singapore, we got Mexico, we have Monaco, round number 5, which is going to provide a big challenge for these guys. Could throw some of the faster guys off if they're not careful, and we could maybe see a couple surprise performances that we might base off of this race here today. You know, we could have some guy who is all the way in 15th or something, or 16th, and then they win in say Monaco or something. So yeah, really interesting calendar, gonna be great for us to commentate over, and I cannot wait.
Yeah, there was 14 tracks last season, and they dropped 2 tracks just to have the 12 race calendar, just to make it shorter a little bit. And there was no pre-season race last week, so basically this race is basically going to be where we judge them for the first time. And for those of you that are wondering who are the drivers this season, we're going to go through them right now. We got 20 drivers. One person is missing tonight, but I'll tell you who the reserve driver is in a second. But apart from that, we've got a full grid. So in the Mercedes, we've got F2 veterans CC Brain and Greeny LFC teaming up once again, who did very well in the constructors last season. We have 2 new drivers, Luca Manolo VF in the Red Bull. We have NWS Michi from F1 last season joining Midnight, who is returning after a few races break. He left after Japan last season, so great to have him back. In the Renault, we have F4 champion MNT Kazui partnering with Season 25 F1 tier participant Lee Finley. So it'll be interesting to see how they can do. In the McLaren, we have NWS Hadler, who was in F2 last season, and BGG Fabi, who was in F1 last season. And then the Ferrari boys, which I think both of us are excited to pair up with. We've got Caden Forbes and Lamp F1, Foxy Dude, as he was once known. We got Benjamin and Ballina in the AlphaTauri. 2 new drivers. Ballina, I think, someone to watch out for based on his practice times in testing. And we got Tactician and Table Clan, who are both from F1 last season in the Alfa Romeo. And then we have Simo from in the Haas with Petrux. And then we've got, I think, another team to look out for this season. The Constructors Champions from last season, Williams. And we got our F2 champion, Tomato. And our Season 23 champion, Will, also as well. So I'm very, very excited for this lineup. We're about to get into qualifying, and filling in for Tactician tonight. We've got another veteran coming back. It is Speedster, who is making his debut after a few seasons break, so glad to have him back as well. And should we get started with qualifying, Dan?
Oh yeah, why not? You know, we've got quite a bit left of it to go, so yeah, we should see how these drivers are getting on in the session at the moment.
Yep, 20 drivers, of course. We are expecting drivers here today to get into the 118s. A few people getting the benchmark time. We've got Mitchie in the racing point on pole position with a 1:19.1. Kazooie doing well in second with a 1:19.4, but there's still people on their laps right now which can go even quicker too as well, with Simo on his out lap. I'm seeing if anyone else is on a lap that I could actually come across the line. No, I think I was going to go on board with Caden Forbes, but he's saying on his out lap, but he's not. He's in the pit, so I'll probably go on board with someone else. I think we'll go on board with Simo actually in the... nope, he's not. I thought he was going towards the final corner, but he wasn't. I'm seeing who is furthest to set a lap time, which I believe... No, I couldn't find anyone. So, you know, these drivers, some of these drivers have gone down from F1 to F2. Maybe they were a bit disappointed of their placement, but I think since the placements have gone out, this just made them even more motivated to actually get a good result and challenge for the title. We've got the likes of Lee, Tactician, Table Clan, you know, they want to prove themselves that they want to join F1 back in the future.
Yeah, absolutely, and as you said, it would have been a knock to their confidence, but I think that they are going to have a bit of a different mentality when it comes to that. Of course, they're going to be, you know what, I didn't get it this season, but if I just work hard, practice all the time, then I could be in a really good position. Someone who has just started a lap is one of the Constructors champions last season, a part of the Williams team last season in 26. Now he is in the Haas. It is Simo, part of the IGK Esports team, just coming through the first sector at the moment, looking like a pretty decent lap so far, 26.1. It says he's purple on the map, but you know how the game does like to lie. So yeah, this looks like a really clean lap, Simo, and with only 8 guys setting a lap at the moment, he could be right up there with the top guys.
There was quite a few invalidations in the other PSGL tiers we've seen through the week as well, so I won't be surprised if we see some invalidations here tonight as well, as he just goes past turn 10 and into the kink of turn 11 and into turn 12. That is a very common place to invalidate. DRS activated, going up to 200 miles per hour, going to 4th gear into turn 13 and heading towards turn 14, using as much curve as possible. Make sure that you don't disrupt the sensors, but I don't think you would on a multiplayer game. As you come towards the final corner now, let's see what Simo could do. Can he be the first person to get into the 118s tonight? Yes, he can. A brilliant lap from him, a 1:18.8. A few temps clear of second place man NWS Mitchie as well. A few more people setting lap times as well. I'm seeing if anyone is going even quicker. We got Lamp just about starting his lap, heading towards turn 1 and heading into turn 3. Now we got Tomato, who hasn't set a lap yet. I'm guessing he invalidated a few runs as well. And Tomato and Luca as well. And Greeny as well. I know Greeny may not use it for a while. Some of these guys, it's the first time that they've turned off line completely. No reliance on the line anymore. They've just got to rely on their judgment and try and use the best line possible, really, to be honest. Tomato may have used it in the final round in Brazil, but this is the reason why maybe he was placed in F2 was probably because he wasn't familiar with no line. So this is just a good chance to find his feet a bit, and he's probably in less pressure than he was if he was going to be in F1. So probably the right placement to be, I think, for our reigning FT champion.
Yeah, and of course that gives him a chance to defend his championship. A lot of people going to have the perception that he wasn't deserving the championship because Rafa dropped out after round like number 6 or something, and it was looking clear that Rafa would be the champion after a couple of races. And yes, so this will give Tomato a bit of a chance to really show his worth in a full season title long fight. He is doing pretty decently at the moment through the first sector. 26.1, that is the same as Simo's there, and now it's a Haas 1-2. Petrix has just completed a lap. He does an 18.9, a little bit slower than his teammate, but both Italians, so they're going to have a good connection together. And there's Lee Finley going to the top with a 118.7. The times are beginning to come down as the track gets more and more rubbered in. Speedster's actually just gotten a little bit of a tow from Manolo VF, one of of the new guys in this division. There's all speed to get a little bit of oversteer. Looking like a pretty decent lap though for the American driver. We can see him coming through the last sector at the moment. The famous 25 on his car that he's run for so long as now coming out of the final corner. He's going to get even more of a slipstream off the McLaren. Of course, non-intentional there. What can Speeds to do? He has a 19.3, and that puts him 7th position behind F1 driver last season, Fabi. And this Benjamin also, oh sorry, it's not Benjamin, it was CC Brain going 3rd.
Yep, CC Brain not doing too bad in the Merc. Merc hasn't done too bad in F2 last season. Actually, Mercedes was the last team to win a race in F2 last season, with Big C winning it as well. So maybe a CC Brain can carry on that momentum of wins in the Mercedes and maybe make it a second Mercedes win in a row technically as well. But he's looking quite good at the moment to potentially challenge Lee and Simo for a pole position as well. These guys, I've seen them on Twitter, in the Twitter chat and on Discord as well. They have been putting the lap times. It's not just turning up on a Monday and just racing. These guys want to be potentially in F1 esports in the future. The likes of some people that are too young, this is a good training ground for them to get their times in and possibly improve, ready for the F1 esports. Ballina was actually supposed to take part in the Challenger Series as well, but due to him missing out some information, unfortunately he can't take part. But I'm sure that he will probably be setting some time trial laps or maybe going into the playoffs, and he could be in the Challenger Series pretty soon as well. Will has just invalidated his lap time, so he can't improve. He was looking, I think he was looking purple in sector 2, I think, at one point. But I think due to that invalidation, that has costed them as well. The only people not to set a lap time is Ballina, Midnight, Lamp, Luca, Caden Forbes, and Table Clan. Caden Forbes is on his out lap right now. But yeah, I think 118.2s, 118.5 is what we're probably going to be expecting today, as Simo, our second place man, currently warming up his tyres right now. Quite a lot of people on the softs, not many people on the mediums. Does that suggest the weather, do you think, for the race, Dan? And I think we've lost Dan there, according to his mic. I'm not sure if it might be my Discord playing up, or if it's his Discord playing up, or he can't hear me at the moment. So no worries, whilst he fixes that, Simo is about to start his next lap in the Haas. And then we've got, let's see who else is finished up, carrying on. And we've got Mitchie in the Racing Point now. He hasn't had a good season last time out in F1. He finished 22nd in season 26. He's really lucky that Italy is on the calendar, because that's one of his best results last season, getting in the points. He's looking for some podiums, of course, but he's looking quite good in the final sector. We have to see what he does coming towards the final corner. A little bit of a slide there as he heads onto the exit there, but can he get into the 118s as well? Yes, he can. That's a P3 for him, a 118.8. So the times are starting to go into the 118s very quickly right now. Lamp is also on a lap, going just past turn 12 and into turn 13. Now, just a quick reminder for these drivers, the slipstreaming your other teammate is banned for this season. I think pretty much all seasons it has been banned for quite some time. If you slipstream your teammate in qualifying, then that's it. Then you probably will get disqualification from the race. So here comes Lambert come across the line now, and it's a 118.6, and that is pole position. Ooh. And Dan, are you back?
I'm back. I don't know what's happened there. It's my first time using Discord on the PC, and I've had to swap out the HDMI cable to put it into my PS4, but I don't know why that have caused an issue. But yeah, I'm back on my phone now, so like I was for the entirety of last season. But I did catch the end of Lamp's lap. A really good time from him, and his teammate Caden Forbes actually went off a little bit wide at the really fast chicane, and that completely screwed over any chance of a good lap that he had. So really, it is crunch time for all the guys that haven't put in a lap. Ballina, Midnight, and as I say that, Luke.
And I think we lost him again, as Luca goes 5th fastest with a 118.8. He's using no line for the first time. He's actually very impressing me so far. I thought he would be near the bottom of the timing sheets, but he's not. He's matching up with the big guns, which is great to see as well. And I have a feeling we could see one of the new guys, I think, challenge the top guys potentially this season. We didn't see much of that. We saw like M Short doing well last season as well with his few appearances in PSGL F2, which was great to see, of course. And obviously he's down in F3 now, unfortunately, but hopefully he'll do well in F3, as do the other F2 drivers that got the demotion from F3. But yeah, for all the guys at the bottom now, it's one-shot quali for these drivers now. They only have chance to set one more lap. Ballina, I think, will probably go for 2 more runs, I think, potentially, before we get to go again. But Midnight and Table Clan, this is it. And Table Clan, especially after being demoted from F1, this is not a good sign if he hasn't set a lap yet, because he's got a point to prove. He wants to show that he can be one of the top drivers in this tier. Before F1 last season, he was in F3, I believe, as well. And if he would have joined F3 midway through the season in season 25, he would have challenged for the title. But obviously he was winning races left, right, and centre. I wonder if he'll win races in F2 this season. We'll just have to find out. It's calm before the storm, Dan. We're going to see if any of the guys we were expecting to get pole will get pole position. But it looks like Lamp and Lee are the favourites at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Those guys really rapid at the moment, but you can't count out some of the guys who are only just a couple tenths back from them. Simo, Mish, and Luca. All of these guys Italian. Looks like it's a red, white, and green grid. Yeah, I'm just trying to remember the Italian flag colours, but they're doing really well. Caden Forbes has just gone a lap, but I believe Ballina is actually invalidated, so this is not looking good for Ballina there, because he can't just quite hook up a lap together, and this is really hurting his chances.
Yeah, it is, and he's going to be on 1 lap older tyres compared to his rivals if he qualifies inside the top 10, and he's like the bookies' favourite for the title this season, does Ballina, so he's got his work cut out, but maybe the pressure is probably getting to him, the Shizou driver, of course, as well. Midnight as well, not cooking a lap together either, but you can see Lamp is really wanting to get his lap together very, very quickly as well, as Lee is waiting very slowly, as he wants to be the last people to cross the line. But I think there's going to be more people going to be crossing the line but after him anyway, but that doesn't matter. He wants some chance to get some clear air ready for his final lap. Everyone's going to be on their final laps now, as a few people has just come out of the pit lane, so they've got to get a good lap together, because otherwise they will be out of the running. Benjamin has just come out of the pit lane, and I'm a bit worried about Benjamin. He's just finished a lap. I think that's it for his chances. A 1:19.1. I don't think he could get to the 1:18s, I don't think, with his lap time, because, yep, he's slowing down, so that is his qualifying done as well. Well, how's the F4 champion doing? He is starting his lap now at the moment, and it's quite a big jump from F4 into F2, of course. I don't think any people jumped from F3 to F2 last season, but Kazui must be feeling quite nervous jumping 2 tiers into F2, but we've seen Faz made a jump from F3 to F2 last season. It worked out very, very well, and considerably enough, because Kazui is in the Renault, and he's looking good in sector 1, and there was a car in the way, so that's probably hurts his chances a little bit.
Yeah, but he's still looking quite clean. I'm not too sure what Benjamin has done there, but I didn't really catch it. Table Clan crossed the line, and there's Hadler as well crossing it. There's Midnight.
There we go.
And he takes the throne from Lamp, who is down on his lap at the moment. There's Lee Finley with an 18.5, so they're all putting in the laps, and it looks like Lee Finley, never mind, Misha's just gone to the top with an 18.4.
That is impressive, and Lamp can't go any quicker because he has invalidated. I believe next across the line will be, no, it's not Luca, it's his teammate, I believe, of Manolo. He can't go any quicker with a 1:19.7. Caden Forbes not saying a representative lap time at the moment. Anyone else on a finishing lap? Benjamin obviously can't improve, because here he goes 12th fastest, and only a few tenths could put you at that point. Caden Forbes goes across the line in 10th position. We've got Luca coming towards turn 13 now, and Petrux can't go any quicker. We still got Fabi. Nope, he's not improving, so it's all down to Luca now. Can he be the one to top the timing sheets? Can he be Mitchie for pole position? Let's see. Can this be a Red Bull pole? No, but he improved his time to a 1:18.6 for him, and that's it for qualifying. So Michi for NWS is on pole position with a 1:18.4. Lee Finley with a 1:18.5. So Dan, the ones with the F1 experience are P1 and P2. Michi from F1 last season and Lee Finley from season 25. For Lee, it's been a season break from the game, and he's already shining at the moment. But Michi, I think he's going to be the benchmarker at the moment. I was not expecting those two to top of the timing sheets at midnight in a P3. That is really, really good to see him back on form.
Yeah, absolutely. Only 500ths of a second separating the top two there. The entire field spread, bar Ballina, because he wasn't able to actually hook a lap together. Manolo was only 1.2 seconds off of Michelle, or I think his name's actually Michele, but he has shortened it to Misha's now qualifying is over. Greeny starting all the way down in 18th when he was looking like a title contender for quite a little bit of the way into last season. That was actually because he did what Valtteri Bottas did in 2018, where he spun at turn number 1, ended his qualifying completely, and so now he's going to start way down the order, but at least he's going to get that free choice of tyres.
Yeah, indeed. So let's look at your qualifying results as well. Just look at this grid, Dan, of how close it is between 1st and 17th. With Michi on pole, the Scotsman Lee in 2nd, Midnight in 3rd, Lamp in 4th place. I'm sure without that validation, he would have gone quicker. We got Luca, Simo, Fabi, Petrock, CC Brain and Caden Forbes rounding up your top 10. And then we got Speedster, Hadler, Kazooie, Tomato, Benjamin, Table Clan, Will, Greeny, Manolo and Ballina is the only driver not to set a lap time, so he couldn't get a lap together, whereas everyone did. So Ballina is going to try and make up as many positions as he can, but maybe starting last in Australia is not a bad thing, because we've seen in other tiers that lap 1 instance could cost some positions and maybe some safety cars as well. So as it is a dry race, as we're seeing soft cut tyres in the garages there, so no rain expected at the moment, unless it changes throughout, I've got to say. But we were watching the pre-season race last season. That's where the drivers were in F2 last season. There was, I think, around 2 or 3 safety cars. We may see the same this season, and we saw quite a lot of battles, I think, in the first couple of laps. And don't forget, the race is not over in lap 1, so it should be very, very intriguing. And strategy-wise, I could expect to see maybe softer hards, or potentially few people going for the gamble and doing soft to mediums, as we've seen in, I think, in the other PSGL tiers and in the XBGL tier as well. We've seen this as well. So should be very, very interesting on what people do in terms of strat. If they can't stay on the softs for long enough, go on the hards. But if they can go on to stay for the softs for about 11 laps, then they can go on to the medium compounder tyres.
Yeah, well, some of the guys further down the order, they get the free choice of tyres. Everyone except for Kazooie has gone for the mediums on the start. That's probably going to mean that they're going to try for a medium to hard strategy. Kazooie's going to be making up a lot of positions at the start, but he's going to have to pit a lot earlier, and it will punish him later on in the Grand Prix. But he will still have a slight advantage over the top 10, and all these guys who are starting in the top 10, especially if you're around the 8th, 9th or 10th, you're not going to be too happy with that position, because one position back, you get the ult strat, which is really powerful on this game, but you know, they just have to deal with it. Hopefully we do see some clean racing. I know that in XBGL round of 1 last Thursday, there was a crash before turn number 1. Hopefully we don't see any of that, and hopefully we can have a great race here.
I hope we do as well, as it all heads towards just past turn 9 and 10 as well. And whilst everyone is doing the formation lap, I'd just like to point out that if you win the PSGL F2 title, then you get some money for prizes as provided by our sponsors, Brutal Democracy. I'd just like to say a big thank you to them. They're providing prizes for PSGL F2 for a second season. Last season they provided the winner with £30. This season, they got on £20 more. They're providing the winner with £50. So that's an extra incentive for them to do well. But I think for some of these guys, they just want to get some good results for some of these guys. They want the money at the end of the day, which could be used for other things. And for PSGL F1, the top tier, they get to win £160 if they come in first place, £80 for second, and £60 for third. Dan, who's your money to win this race?
My money to win this race, I'm going to put it on, I'm going to say Lee Finley is going to take the win this time. Lamp will get second, and we're going to see a drive through the order from Table Clan. Just why not? He's all the way down in 16th, but you know what? That alternate strategy is really going to help him out, and he's definitely got the pace. He was in F1 last season. I think he's got in him to do well today.
Oh, I've got a few predictions as well, and I think we're just about to get started for the first round of PSGL F2, the first ever race of the F2 no assist here. It's a long haul, but we are underway, and it's a good start from both of the drivers on the front row, but it's also a good start from Midnight. The two racing points are absolutely flying, but Lee still managed to hold on to second place. But Lamp really trying to go side by side with Midnight already, and I think most people are making it clean through turn 1 and 2 so far. But what about turn 3? Here comes Lamp then into turn 3 and heading into turn 4. He's absolutely sending it. He wants that position so badly. Going off the curb a little bit. They're banging wheels just a little bit as well, getting a penalty because of that. We got a yellow flag, and I'm not sure who that is because the timings. It's Manolo in the Red Bull, unfortunately. So, unfortunately, he's had a bad start. A few penalties already from, I think, collisions, I've got to say. So, Lamp and Petrox getting collision warnings. But everybody else seems to be okay so far. I think a lot cleaner than XBGL last week, which was great to see. And no safety cars on lap 1, so they can run freely at the moment. But we can see Mitchie is already pulling away by 7/10 of a second, but Midnight has already found some time to Lee in second place. But yeah, a good start for Mitchie. This is what he wants to start off his F2 campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. CC Brain making opposition on Caden Forbes, but Fabi's also trying to go down the inside of the Brit, and he's actually made contact, and he's in the wall. There's Fabi off the circuit, and he's lost the front wing. He's out of the Grand Prix.
Safety
and
car.
That is early contact, and we might see a safety car coming out here. They're all definitely going a bit slower, but and there is a VSC coming out on lap number 1. Contact between Caden Forbes and Fabi there. Fabi's race ended early, and at the hands of Caden Forbes. I'm not too sure who was at fault. It looks like Caden had a really, really bad run out, I believe, turn number 12, and that allowed for Fabi to get the inside. And it's just such a fast corner. It's so difficult to run side by side. And unfortunately for Fabi, it just did not work out. And that is his race over and done with already.
Yeah, that is a shame, of course, for Fabi, of course. He wanted to get his redemption season going, and it is over in lap 1. You wouldn't want that to happen to any driver, and it's heartbreaking to see for Fabi. So we are now down to 19 runners, and Banana and Manolo have got into the pits, and it is for a front wing change. The safety car is gone, or the VSC actually, and Petrox is actually having a good run on the F4 champion on Kazooie as we head towards, heading towards turn 11, coming up now with the right-hand curve, and now heading to just past the infamous wall of turn 12, which has kept quite a few drivers in many other tiers, but unfortunately Patriots can't get the run right now. DRS will be activated in lap 3. Lee Finley out of DRS range right now, which is not what he wants. He's got to find at least 1/10 in order to come back in it right now, but CC Brain he just wants to go as fast as he can on those soft tyres past Luca. Doing well with no line at the moment. Greeny, his teammate, unfortunately not doing quite so well, but let's see if he can come back from it right now as they all head towards turn 1. We can see, I think, Petrox, let's see if he can get the run on Casey. No, not quite. It's just a DRS that it's just affecting him right now, and so is CC Brain as well. I think the only potential person that could go for the move is Midnight on Lee Finley, because Lee Finley has run out of, has got no DRS on the car in front, obviously, because he's 1.2 seconds behind. So, bit of a shame for Lee, but everybody else, it's guns a-blazing to see on if they can make some extra positions.
Yeah, absolutely. There might be a little bit of a slight glitch in the timings because they seem a little bit different from what they're at on the track. But Banana has come into serve drive-through, but he got for speeding under VSC. So unfortunate. He's just not had a good start. He's really going to need a safety car to get back into this one. CC Brain, though, right onto the back of the Red Bull car. It's so difficult to follow through these high-speed corners. But with the DRS, he's just going to try and close up to the Red Bull. There's yellow flags in sector 1. I think that's Banana might have losing it somewhere.
Yeah, it's Banana.
Really, yeah, he's just not having a good race at all today, as they're a little bit bunched up towards the front. Aside from Lee Finley losing a lot of time, Midnight could be breathing down the neck, making it a racing point 1-2 as he opens up the DRS. Not going to use any overtake because he's just not close enough to get the move, but he is definitely of breathing down the rear of the Scotsman.
Yeah, he is. Midnight, I mean, hasn't had the best of seasons when he was racing last. He got some points for the Mercedes team, but maybe Racing Point is the team that he should be in, and he's doing very, very well to score some points, and we could see a team other than Williams take the Constructors title for the first time in a while. Don't forget, in PSGL F1 last season, Racing Point were the Constructors champions with Diamond and Matthias, who were very good, all machine working together as well. So it looks like those two are working well. Midnight trying to see if he can get past Lee as well, and maybe he could try and hold him up when he gets past him too, and that will allow Mitchie to draw the gap just a little bit. Let's see how the Haas driver is doing on Kazooie. The DRS point is coming up really, really soon. Is he going to get the lunge into turn 12 and 13? Kazooie getting a bad entry heading into this turn. Let's see if Petrus can get the run into turn 13 onto the right-hand side, and I think he's got it. Both pushing off the track, and there's contact from both of them. Petrus out of the session in the middle of the circuit. That was, I think, too little too late there. That was a bit of a risky move in turn 13. And another VSC there. That is another driver's race ended, but in turn 13 this time. What a shame for the Haas driver. But Kazooie is going to go into the pits. He wouldn't be happy with that whatsoever.
So unfortunate for Kazooie there, and Petrux of course out of the race, but now Kazooie's got to get a wing change. Luckily for him, he's got the VSC, but some of the soft runners have been able to come into the pit lane. It really has come out at a perfect time for them, because they've been able to fit the hards. That is their pit stop done, and there's Simo getting a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. You really just have to be so careful with the Delta, and unfortunately that was not what he did. So yeah, he's going to have to come into the pit lane in the next 3 laps to serve that penalty, drive straight through the pits. You're going to lose a lot of time through there as well, but looking back up towards the front, there's Lamp almost losing the car. What a save from the young Brit there, but he's lost a lot of time to Midnight and Lee Finley in front, as Michelle just gets further and further away. Midnight picking up a penalty, and that is 3 seconds for too many warnings. He just can't close up to the back of Lee Finley up ahead of him. Can't get that Racing Point 1-2, but he is so close to the back of him coming through the 3rd sector, and he could definitely be poised for an overtake coming up towards turn number 1 or turn number 3, whichever he prefers, I guess.
I think Midnight really needs to get the move done now, but Midnight actually goes into the pit. Actually, he decided that he can't manage those softs. He can't stick by Lee Finley any longer, and he's going for the undercut right now. So onto the hards he goes, and it's going to be a little bit of a risky strategy, because you would expect the hards to pit about a lap later, maybe going on later going onto the hards. But I'm guessing he's predicting an early safety car potentially, and they could probably just make it till the end. So where does Midnight come ahead of? He comes out ahead of Simo in 9th place. So he's got no traffic ahead of him, but he's got a lot of traffic behind him, so he's got a lot to play for right now. But what would I do if I was the guys in front? If I was Lamp, if I was Lee, if I was Mitchie, would I pit now and go for the response to that? You got to really, or would I stay on for a bit longer on the mediums, because you're probably going to see the likes of people pitting who went onto the hards from the soft and produced some even quicker lap times than you probably really got to. So this is going to put a lot of pressure on the top 3, but I know they got them in, and I think the other guys will have the luxury of seeing what Mitchie will do, the likes of Lee and Lamp, but Mitchie, he's probably going to jump the guns here right now, and he's probably going to be a bit worried that the other people may not do exactly the same thing. Is Mitchie going to go into the pits? Yes, he does. He comes on for a hard tyre. Lee stays out, and so does Lamp, so Mitchie goes on the undercut for those 2 drivers. Everybody else, I think, looks like is staying out, so Mitchie thinks that if he doesn't pit now, then he's probably going to be behind the likes of Midnight, the likes of other people that pitted. It wasn't Midnight that pitted, sorry. It was some, I can't remember who actually pitted, actually. It was, I don't know, anyway. Simo drops down. I think he's going to drop down quite a few places down the grid, but surely he wants to get ahead of his rivals anyway, as well as he comes into the pits too, so yeah, I think Lee and Labdan are probably doing softer mediums by the way they're pushing on their car, but it's going to be tough for those 2.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if it is the quickest strategy. You're going to be on the more grippier tyres as Lamp almost losing at the same corner again. I don't know if you picked up on this, but Midnight is on the same set of tyres. That means he actually serves the drive-through penalty, presumably for speeding under VSC. That's why he is ahead of his teammate at the moment. So he is actually going to have to come into the pit lane again because he hasn't made that mandatory pit stop that you have to make. His race completely in tatters now. So he's just got to push as much as he can. Probably will come into the pits at the end of this or next lap as Tomato picking out a time penalty for exceeding track limits. They're all getting a little bit too hasty at the moment further down the order, but here is CC Brain. He's just trying as hard as he can to close up to Luca. And there's, I believe that's Seymour around. He's off the circuit. He hasn't got any wing damage yet, so he's probably just lost that one there. As Lamp F1, oh dear, he's got a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And I think I might have jinxed that because in the Twitter chat earlier, I actually mentioned Will G, who is Lamp, of course, might need the pit braking assist. So sorry, Will, you're just going to have to deal with that one.
Yeah, obviously those are disabled in, I think, all the tiers as well, and he hasn't raced in quite a while, so it's going to take a while to get used to as well. I sometimes do that on the game, forget that the pit assists are off, and I speed, and then boom, I get a penalty. So easy mistake done, but as long as he doesn't do it again, if he pits again, which he's probably not going to. So let's see if he doesn't do it in Silverstone. So yeah, a drive-through was confirmed for Midnight, and he does pit onto the hard tyres, as that has put him a long way down now. This is not what he wanted. He wanted a podium so badly, and I've got to say that is a commentator's curse for me right now, and from you, I think, as well, Dan. So sorry, Midnight, if you're watching this back later on, but CC Brain, he's having a really good race so far on those hards, definitely getting those hards up to temperature. He got past Luca eventually and up into P7, and Lee Finley unfortunately did not get the pit stop right. He actually got behind Mitchie, but he was able to actually keep the gap to 1.5 seconds. So, you know, it might have been a clean pit stop, but if he did the undercut, he probably would have got ahead of Mitchie there. But to be honest, lessons learned. He'll probably be happy with a second at the moment because it's all about consistency in F2. You don't have to win all the races to take the title, but you would want to try and score a podium, as Lamp has been passed by, Lamp has got passed by Caden Ford. Lamp is now up into 9th place in that Ferrari there, doing very well in 9th place despite that penalty that he's got. He's now going to try and get past Luca into turn 3, but the day is not going to help him. But both of them going to leave too much space? I think Lamp stays behind, but he's getting a better entry into these next set of corners. What about heading towards turn 6 and turn 7? What could they do? A really hard place to overtake if you do it, but Lamp's just got to get past now with those fresher tyres, because otherwise there may be a punch at the end. He's going to go for the send, heading into this corner, into the right hand apex he goes, and Lamp is up into P8 there, and he's going to chase down CC Brain, who is 7/10 behind now, Dan.
Yeah, what a move from the Brit there. Now, of course, as I said, he'll be closing up to CC Brain as McKenny gets a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. They are struggling with keeping it all clean on the circuit, so really unfortunate from him there. There's Luca also getting a time penalty. He's got Caden Forbes for company right behind him, almost losing the DRS up ahead to Lamp, so this could be a big thorn in his side, as now Caden Forbes DRS. Luca does not, so now coming down the straightaway, it doesn't look like he's close enough to really close up to the Italian, but he's just going to close in enough that he can maybe mount a challenge, come into turn number 3, up towards turn 1, clipping the apex nice and beautifully there, both of the drivers, as now here's the DRS opening it up. Luca has not got that luxury, coming up towards turn number 3, Caden is just not close enough, as Luca probably used a little bit of his DRS there to defend from Caden, but he just couldn't get it, as Greeny putting in the fastest lap. He's not even in the points at the moment. He's fighting down in 14th position behind Tomato and Kazooie as well. All these guys quite far off the pace. I'm not too sure what has actually happened to them because they're miles back from the likes of Benjamin, Caden, all the guys in the top 10.
Oh, we got Lamp and CC Brain going just from move heading in towards turn 9 and 10, and Lamp really nicely controlled for him, and Lamp another position for him. He's absolutely flying on those medium tyres, but there is a danger if you use too much for medium tyres now for pushing and overtaking, then it's going to cost you towards the end there. So you've got to be saving a little bit as well. But do expect the medium runners to be a lot faster than the hard runners at this stage. But towards the end, the hard runners will probably be quicker. Meanwhile, Midnight gets past Tomato up in a 2, P14. So Midnight managing his ERS and hard tires, I think, a lot more efficiently than Tomato, and with the DRS actually was a lot more effective on Midnight's car by the looks of things. We've got 4 drivers still yet to pit. That's Speedster, who is actually leading a race. So we've got Table Clan Will and Hadler as well. Everyone else has made their mandatory pit stops. And I've got to say, the ones without penalties, they're going to be absolutely delighted that they could climb up positions in this race, especially if we have a late safety car probably change things as well. But we are starting to see, I think, more of the medium runners who are just pitted. Lamp probably saving a little bit more of his tyre life and probably fuel as he tries to catch up to Lee Fenley. 1.2, he's got to find a few attempts to get into DRS, but surely he'll eventually get that done. But I think Lamp wanted to stay a few extra laps so he can go on to the medium compounded tyres. We'll make it to the end. We've got yellow flag set to, that is Tomato actually, our reigning season 26 season 26 champion, bidding it, and Manilow now goes past him as well, and Tomato spins again. He's in the wall, and that's his front wing. Well, his front wing almost completely gone. His right front wing completely gone actually, and there he his left, not his right. I need to get my left and right mixed, not mixed up again. But yeah, Tomato will have to go into the pits. I think this is a champion curse, and oh my god, yeah, his front wing is gone now. It's 100% damage. It's going to be very, very difficult. But now I think he's got to get past, and he does. But let's watch the battles towards the midfield now with Caden Forbes on Luca once again. Caden Forbes just can't get the power at the moment to get past Luca, but he's probably just saving in the long run, and the yellow flags are for Tomato, for those of you that are wondering. So, yeah, I think Tomato is finding no line a lot difficult than most people may seem. Don't expect the F2 champion to shine efficiently, as Tomato is now out of the race, sadly. But not a strong start to his championship defence, Dan.
I am really hoping that our current reigning F2 champion has not had his wings clipped in any way, and he can still soar like he did last season. But no safety car for that, even though he retired on circuit. It looks like he lost the car on his own, so I'm not going to pin any blame on him about intentionally trying to bring out a safety car, because I don't think he did that, as the medium runner's still staying out a little bit longer. Meanwhile though, Lamp F1 now finds himself in the DRS. He's just hovering there or thereabouts behind Lee Finley, probably trying to save his tyres a little bit to get them 100% to the end. But Lee Finley, with no penalties at the moment, he is looking quite likely for the win if he can just keep it this way and keep the gap to Lee up ahead. Just Luca has actually closed in on CC Brain quite a lot. I don't know whether CC Brain made a mistake, but he is certainly losing pace in comparison to the Red Bull car behind now up towards turn number 3. He's not close enough to make a move, but this is going to hamper Caden Forbes as well, because now he can't mount a challenge, because the DRS is going to be also given to Luca. So it is getting a little bit of a train starting to form between those three, but I wouldn't imagine that the DRS is going to come into effect too much, because there are a lot of places around the circuit where there's no DRS, and you can't really utilise it to full effect. As now Balliner has retired in the pit lane. He has just had an abysmal day, and that is his race completely over. He's not going to try for anything else. No full-on safety cars so far in this Grand Prix, but to BSC, will we see that Mercedes coming out the pit lane and controlling the pack? We'll have to see later on, as we almost reach the halfway mark.
Yeah, we almost do already. This race has gone by so quickly so far. We do have a yellow flag in sector 1, and that was for Balliner's AI car coming out of the pits there. But yeah, Caden is probably a bit worried stuck behind these lot as well because of the dirty air. And also, Caden Forbes used a lot of his ERS trying to overtake in the laps previous as well. And to be honest, Australia is one of those tracks where you can't afford to lose so much ERS. It's going to be so hard to recharge the battery. Once again, he's now on 8%, whereas Luca is on 48, CC Brain's on 33. So Caden is probably, that's why he's probably stuck behind these lot and is dropping quite massively. That will allow Benjamin to come back in the picture. But here comes CC Brain and Luca battling for P8. CC Brain just about holds on to Luca there for P9 now. And CC Brain, a very strong performance for him so far. I know he's in P8, but he's been using live for most of last season. So, to be honest, that is what I was expecting for the guy that was P2 in the championship last season. He just missed out last season, but he got the most wins last season in F2. He was probably lower down the standing for the last few races of the season, and we didn't think he would actually be challenging for the title, and he did in the final few rounds, and he just missed out too. So he would want to get one step closer this season with an actual F2 title if you can keep that consistency. Kazooie gets a penalty now with a 3-second time penalty, unfortunately, but CC Brain is on the charge now, 8 tenths per second now. No, actually no, 2 tenths per second now between Luca and CC Brain now. But I'm a bit worried for CC Brain that he may have pushed a little bit too hard, but he is probably going to be saving a little bit now as Caden and Luca are just running out of theirs. But this is crucial for Lamp now. He is within DRS of Lee, and he's going to go potentially for a move either this lap or next lap. But maybe Lee being on the hards could be a blessing in disguise, because sometimes being on the hards may be the best decision, or maybe Lamp's just pushing a little bit too much. I'm a bit worried for him that the tyres could run out, but these tyres could go to the end. But for how much tyre wear could it be on towards the end of that race? We'll just have to wait and see. Meanwhile, Speedster, Table Clan and Will and Hadler still yet to pit. Mitchie still leads. I'll still need to get that name right. I will get it right, but probably towards the end of the season. But he leads by 1.6 seconds over Lee, so still managing to get that gap over as well. But I think Lee Finley will probably be happy keeping Lamp behind him, because that will help him win this Grand Prix. But Lee just has got to keep it clean from here on in and keep the likes of Lamp and CC Brain behind if he wants to win this race and start his redemption into PSGL.
Yeah, at this moment in time, those mediums on the Ferrari car are going to be quicker than the hards, but in comparison to each other, every lap that goes by, those hard tyres are going to get better than these mediums. So it's really just about holding his nerve against Lamp, who will be charging at this point, and he will be trying to make an overtake soon, but he just has to hold out for as long as he can, because it won't hurt to sorry, I don't know what is going on about there, but yeah, he just has to hold his will. At the moment, though, in the fight for P8, this is a net P4. Don't forget, of course, the top 4 still yet to pit. I'm really liking this kind of pack of cars. You know, we've got CC Brain, a staple in PSGL. He's been in this league for such a long time. And we've got the returning Caden Forbes after leaving last season because of his placement. Now he's been put in F2, and then we got a completely hotshot new driver who's just turned the line off. I'm really excited for these guys' futures in this season, as they're fighting for a really strong position at this moment in time on circuit. There's not really too much going on at the moment. The top 3 have kind of cruised away from Hadler behind, so Hadler's in a bit of no man's land. He's got 3.5 seconds to the cars in front and 3.5 to the car behind of McKelly. As there's Will getting a 3-second time penalty as the car off at sector 1.
Mercedes!
Greeny. So Greeny and Tomato, 2 giants last season in season 26, are not having a good race at all. So I wonder what's happened to them over the break.
Yeah, I wonder as well, but I think both of them were using line last season, and I think they just relied on the line too much maybe, and not doing as well. But at least they got next week to practice the course. And for those of you that just joined us, F2 is a no assist tier for the first time, which should provide a lot of a challenge. And I've got to say, Luca impressing me with no line for the first time. I've got to say, in 9th place too, Caden Forbes doing well in 10th place. We got another yellow flag, which is still for Greeny, going really, really slow. I won't be surprised if Greeny is going to call it a day, because he's running in plumb last, but he's probably going to hope there's going to be a safety car in their midst very, very soon as well. So that's why the yellow flags are popping up. But we can see Table Clan is looking very, very racy against his teammate for tonight, Speedster, for P1 on track. It may not be P1 on the actual race, but it will be P1 here as they try to get ahead in the pit stop. I've got to say, Speedster looking very good leading the medium runners right now, and the softs are going to be really fast towards the end of this race. They're going to be pitting in the next few laps or so, the pit window. Will potentially going to be doing the same. Will, I've got to say, is the king of the alternate strategy. And speaking of that, he comes in and he's probably going to go on the soft tyres, Dan.
They've held out for this amount of time. They're going to be a lot quicker than the hards, and of course they're lighter on fuel. Hadler also coming to the pit lane too to take off those worn out medium tyres, trying to get an undercut on the Alfa Romeos charging at the front, but now that moved Michele into P3. Then there's Lee Finley in P4, P5 for Lamp, and so on and so forth further down the order. So when are Speedster and Table Clan going to pit? Really, Speedster's in the best position for these two at the moment, because he's going to get that priority in the pits. He can pit when he wants to, and if he wants to go in this lap, Table Clan is going to have no other choice but to stay out on circuit. Otherwise he'll get held in the pits, completely ruin his entire race. But Will is almost P10. That is a points paying position regardless. He's now got a gap of about 4.5 seconds to Benjamin up ahead, and then he is going to be on the charge. I would expect to see a couple fastest laps coming out from Will Murdoch. Of course, I believe he won 1 or 2 races last season, definitely one in Belgium, took the throne off of Rafa. But I'm not too sure about the second. He's already closing in on Benjamin up ahead. He gained 5/10 in this sector alone. He's absolutely flying on that set of softs. CC Brain feeling the pressure from Luca, but he's just not close enough to attack. He's trying to hold off for a little bit, save these tires up, and then he's going to launch his attack. There's Speedster into the pit lane. Table Clan has to stay out, and he takes the lead beginning lap number 19. 11 laps to go in this Grand Prix.
Yeah, it's a shame that the double stacking doesn't work on this game, because that would have been very nice for both of the drivers to pit at the same time. But, you know, Speedster has priority, and again, he's going to be very, very fast. And I'm just actually going to check for you, Dan, when was his other win? It was actually in Hanoi in Vietnam, which was, I think, round number 8. And that was actually a very good race. I think one of the best races of the season that we ever commentated on as well. So it was great to see. We actually commentated on, you actually saw the win this time in Vietnam, whereas in Belgium, my Algato decided to play up. So, you know, Will has got a win on camera in F2 Season 26. He's looking for a win today, and he's not, I think he's still looking to be the favourite for the win if he keeps that alternate strategy up, but it's going to be very, very hard for the likes of him to actually get past some traffic up ahead as well. And I'm watching Lamp and Lee right now. I think Lamp was just pushing a little bit too much on their medium tyres earlier on in the race, and I think that's what costed him. Or maybe he was saving that grip, maybe potentially towards the end, so he can push on Lee. As he found a little bit more time on him. He's still keeping within that 9/10 gap right now, but he's got to, I think he just ran out of room, to be honest, and we can probably see the medium tyres probably ran out of space for Lamp if he doesn't get a move on potentially, as Table Clan goes in into the pits for the Alfa Romeo for the soft tyres as well. Will actually getting ahead of Speedster in the pit stops. Will and Table Clan get a run on his teammate. Speedster comes across the line. I think he's going to come comfortably ahead in the pit stops. Yes, he does. We did have a yellow flag there, and that's a Mercedes. And that was, I think, that was CC Brain. And Luca going side by side. And I think Luca's going to get the run on CC Brain. What a move from Luca. That was fantastic. He is a new driver here in a PSGL, and already he is showing why he deserves to be in F2 out of majority. We got quite a lot of new drivers this season in PSGL F2. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drivers who have joined in PSGL for the very first time. And it's great to see Luca really shining, and Lee gets a penalty as well. I believe that was through the infamous turn 12. So that is a shame. So it looks like the victory for Lee is off the cards, unless Michelle, or however you say his name, Mitchie, has got more penalties. Let me have a look at penalties, actually. No, the victory is still on the cards for Lee, as the race leader has got 6 seconds worth of penalties, and Lamp has got 11 seconds worth of penalties. That's the advantage, Dan. We actually get to see who's got penalties and how much. That is a really good feature that Codemasters has done. Codemasters have finally done something right. The drivers can also see which drivers have got penalties if they're within 2 or 3 car lengths of each other, which is great to see. So Lee will know that his rivals have got more penalties than him. So as long as he could keep the gap within about 8 seconds or so, he can still get this race win. But he can't get any more penalties because otherwise Mitchie would get that race win. So I think the Racing Point driver is going to hopefully he gets more penalties. But it is crunch time. No safety cars as of yet. I'm quite surprised. These drivers are showing off their mettle today, and I'm very, very impressed with all of them still running in this race.
Yeah, absolutely. We've only had 5 retirements from this Grand Prix, those being Greeny, Ballina, Tomato, Petrux and Fabi, losing it on lap number 1. 7th position at the moment belongs to Will, but I sense that it's not going to be long. He is in his element at the moment, absolutely rapid in comparison to his rivals, lighter on fuel.
And I think we lost Dan again. Oh, no, yeah, you're back.
Again?
Yeah.
Oh, my word.
We did lose you for like a second or so, but you're back. But carry on, what were you saying?
Oh, I was going to say that he can smell blood in the water, and he is absolutely rapid in comparison to Caden, trying to send a move into a penultimate corner. He couldn't find a move there, but he's just done enough to put Caden off, and now he's lost some time to CC Brain up ahead. Meanwhile, Speedster finds a way by Benjamin, one of only 3 drivers with no penalties in this race. There's a late safety car going to come his way. Here comes Will, though, trying to go around the outside of Caden Forbes. Has he got the move? Coming into the braking zone, Caden Forbes has to back off. It's P6 for Will, and now he's got CC Brain and Luca up in front of him. Then a big gap to the podium places up ahead. So it might just be P4 that is only attainable for Will, but still a brilliant race on the alternate strategy. He is doing absolute work at the moment.
Never say never for Will. We've seen people that have been at this gap before and come on to win the race, and I think will still see the win in his sight as well. And I think Lamp's tyres will probably struggle as Will tries to catch up to, so maybe a podium could be on the cards for the Williams driver. But here we go, Will is going to go for a move past CC Brain, the F2 veteran in this league. CC Brain has been in F2 for quite a while. Will made a return last season. Don't forget, he wasn't even meant to be here at the beginning of last season. In the pre-season race last season, he performed so well in F3, and the big man, Big C, decided that he would just about done enough to go into F2, which was really promising for him, and he's looking well deserving that he should be in F2. A lot of these guys on a good day deserve to be in F1, but there's only 20 spaces for that. As here comes Will, comfortably getting past CC Brain. CC Brain did not challenge him there whatsoever. Will is on a comeback of dreams here, and I think he could definitely be one of the contenders for driver of the day. There will be a poll up on the PSGL F2 Twitter, which is PSGL F2, after the race, so you can vote for which 4 drivers. Well, there's 4 drivers that gets put up, and you need to vote for one of them. Will looks certainly to be one of the contenders for driver of the day, I've got to say, Dan.
Absolutely, but someone we have to commend is Luca. Will picking up a 3-second time penalty there, going to hamper him.
Jinxed him.
Brings him up to 9 seconds there. Speedster getting past Caden Forbes and almost moving across him in the braking zone. They're definitely going to be in a party together, because I know that they are good friends, as am I good friends with them as well, and I'm trying to keep all that bias away. Here comes Will, though, on Luca, and I don't think Luca is going to be as easy to overtake as CC Brain, who just picks up a 3-second time penalty. Here comes Will, though. He has to go to the outside of the Italian. There he goes, around the outside, so maybe I was wrong. Luca moving down into P5. Still a brilliant race from him. He started in this position. He managed to maintain it, so really well done to him today. But Will now has a gap to 8 seconds to another Will up ahead, so it's a 3 and 4 for both of the Wills in F2, which is quite nice, I think.
Yeah, I think this is the first time in a while where we've got multiple people of the same name as well. I think there was a few times where there was multiple Lukes in the lobby as well, which got a bit confusing for me to commentate, I've got to say. But at least Lamp, the other Will is called Lamp, so at least I could distinguish him better as well. But you can see Lamp's tyres are just on the... He's just not managing his medium tyres very well, and his ERS as well. And the morning fuel light is coming on for him quite repeatedly at the moment. So I think chances for the race win has probably gone down, even due to the penalty. So I think the battle for the win here is, unless Lee gets an extra penalty, is going to be between Will and Lee at the moment. But here comes CC Brain. He's going to try. Well, Speedster's going to try for the send, heading towards 10. Can he do it? And I think he can. Just past into heading 20, 10, 11 and 12, both going side by side. Speedster with the commitment, both pushing off the track almost, heading in towards turn 13. Here comes Speedster now, and
No!
Speedster spun, and CC Brain spun too. That is a shame, and luckily not many cars went past him at the moment, but yeah, no damage there I don't think from Speedster, but that I think is his race really could have got into some good points paying positions, but I think that's undone his good form there. A lot of risk taken from Speedster, but you know, that is heartbreaking for him, I've got to say. But Table Clan is looking good behind Hadler in a PA, but again, both of them on the alternate strategy, so I think it's going to be really hard to commend. Will's brought the gap down between himself and Lamp to 6.4 seconds. That's just amazing for him. He's absolutely flying. A podium is in sight for the Williams driver. Williams looking like that they want to get the Constructors' Championship wrapped up again in season 27. But with Tomato not doing so well, Will is definitely doing Tomato proud out there in Australia in quite sunny conditions right now. The tyre temperatures is probably really hot around here as well, so it may be difficult for him. Table Clan gets another penalty. Kazooie has left the session, sadly, so hopefully he can join back towards the end of the race, otherwise his points will be null and void. Here comes Hadler with a move, heading towards just before the DRS train. Hadler gets past Caden Forbes on those special softs up into 7th. He was one of the drivers that stayed in F2 this season from last season, and to be honest, I'm impressed with his performance in McLaren. He's doing really well.
Absolutely, he's 7th at the moment. He could also find a couple of positions on Luca and CC Brain on those soft tires, of course. Will be a little bit more difficult than Will had it, because those tires are beginning to age, and they're probably not in their prime at this point in time, so CC Brain might have a little bit more flexibility to defend here from the charging NWS driver, but I believe Caden probably wouldn't have made that too difficult for him, being judging the fact that they're a part of the same team. We are migrating hosts.
I think servers are having an issue. Servers are having an issue. F1, F5, F6, all the tiers I think are having issues, so we might have to end the race there. So that's why I've got the penalties up. So if it finishes as it stands, I'll need to check the rules. I think I'll have to check with Connor with this, but as it stands, if the race finishes like this, because it's over 9%, Lee will win. And I think, I'm just trying to do maths here, we'll probably, I don't know, I'm not entirely sure, but hopefully these guys could keep going. But we did see Kazooie and Midnight disconnect, so they probably will keep their positions because of server problems. I'm not entirely sure. So, you know, I don't know what's going on with the servers tonight, but let's just pray that these guys could keep going. But looks like most people are still in the lobby. But if more people disconnect, it may have to be from, I think the results will have to be from when Midnight disconnected. I'm not entirely sure, but looks like everyone is running good so far. I'm just seeing, I think it's ghosting's off, so that's good. So if people try to overtake, then they can overtake, luckily, as well. So, yeah. I think it may just be a co-master server problem for all platforms, maybe not just PS4. We'll have to double check that. Mitchie getting another 3-second time penalty. That's probably going to jump way down the order, but that's probably not going to affect too much, as Will's got 9 seconds worth of penalties. Lamp has got 11 seconds worth of penalties too, so Mitchie will probably stay in P2. 2 more laps to go. There's going to be no safety cars, and I think we're going to probably hold the record as being one of the only tiers to have no safety cars in Australia. Who would have thought it?
I certainly wouldn't have thought. I was definitely expecting a safety car to come out at some point, but if the results were to go from that whatever point it was, I don't think it will, because it has only been Kazooie and Midnight having issues. I'm just a bit worried because Midnight was the host of this lobby, but if that is the case, then Mish, who is leading the race at the moment, he's actually got 9 seconds, so the point I was about to make wasn't going to make any sense, because I thought he still had 6 seconds of penalties. He could have extended the gap to 3 seconds and he would have been okay. Meanwhile, Hadler is onto the back of CC Brain, and Table Clan is also finding himself closing up to the rear of McLaren, and you can see how they are all bunching up, coming into the first corner, and I think Hadler's definitely got a good opportunity to attack CC Brain now. Where is he going to go? Is he going to try and make a send? It would be very ambitious. He almost goes into the back of the Mercedes car. Luckily, he just managed to get the car stopped in time. So coming up towards the end of the first sector, he's just going to have to hold his nerve, stay behind for a little bit longer. His tyres are very old in comparison to table plans. 10 laps and 8 laps will make a difference. There's a big mistake there from Hadler, going to lose him a bit of time. Table clan just watching this, got the best seat in the house out of anyone on board with that Alfa Romeo. So really nice for him to see this. Maybe he can pick up a position if these two begin to scrap. Coming on to the last lap of the race. Michel's just got to go around one more time and try his best to pull out as much of the gap as he can, and hopefully Finley gets a penalty.
Well, I think that's what Michi has hoping for at this point. So look, an update on penalties. Michi on 9 penalties. As extra penalties. Lee on 3, Lamp on 11, Will, who is 1.3 seconds behind Lamp on 9 seconds. So whatever happens, Will is going to get a podium. So if he can keep the gap within 3 seconds between Will and Lamp, then that'll be a podium confirmed. As long as he doesn't get another penalty, but that would have definitely been a warning there for Will. But I think it's too little too late for Will to try and get past Lamp, which is a bit of a shame. But no matter what happens, I think Will can have his head held high with a fantastic performance. Amazing. And we got Table Clan, CC. I think this is a battle to watch, I think, Dan, at this moment in time as well. But I'm also going to keep an eye on the leader. Where's the leader at the moment? The leader is going through just towards the end of set 2. So it's going to be a while before he crosses the line. But let's watch CC Brain then, as he's struggling, I think, heading just past turn 8 and into turn 9. So it's going to be tricky, I think, for him to possibly get the move on CC Brain with a dirty alcohol. I don't know how Lamp is keeping those tyres till the end. So fair play to Lamp for holding on for so long. But we can see then how these tyres can manage as Table Clan. He's got to get the jump done now. He's got to drop the gun and try and get in past into turn 13. He can't quite do it right now. So let's jump back to your leader. So Michi wins on track, but it's not going to be enough, I don't think, as Lee Finley wins in PSGL F2, the first PSGL F2 winner of the season. Lamb comes across the line in P3, but it's Will, due to penalties, that gets a podium after starting low down on the grid. Luca actually gets a podium after Will getting less penalties. Hadler also gets a penalty, goes up into 4th. Benjamin on debut gets P5 after being on those hards for 25 laps. So that demotes Will to 6th place there. But Luca, I've got to say, standout performance from him. I think the standout performance out of everyone today. Luca, his first race with no line, gets a P3.
Absolutely, what a race from Luca. He will be chuffed about that one. Someone else we do have to commend is Benjamin, picking up P5. He was running 10th on circuit, and he was the only driver, because Simo did have a drive-through penalty at one point. He is the only driver that didn't get a single penalty in this race. That promoted him all the way up into P5. What a race from him. Even though he might not have had the pace, you just have to be clean in the right moments, and he has exhibited that today. So really well done to him as well, but also big congratulations to Lee Finley. He picked up the win. He's definitely got to be a candidate for driver of the day. My podium might not have been correct, but at least I got the winner right, as Lee Finley stands atop the podium. Brilliant performance from him today.
There we go, the first podium celebration of the season. I think what did it for Lee today was Lab was pushing too much on his medium stint earlier on to try and catch up to Lee, and I think that's what hindered him a little bit. And obviously the mediums only last 18 to 20 laps, so I think that was where the win was lost for Lamp, and I think the win would have been lost for Lamp anyway because of his 11 seconds worth of penalties. But it's a Renault on the top step, and I think Lee is going to be happy, I think, because he had doubts going into F2 that he would hope to get into F1, but this is the start of his championship charge. He is definitely going to be one of the favourites and ones to watch for this season. Michi in 2nd, I think definitely another one to watch. Luca in 3rd, Hadler 4th, Benjamin, I've got to say Benjamin, Luca, Lee and Will, I think. And Michi maybe contenders for driver of the day, but I think they can only pick 4. Table Clan in 7th, Lamp in 8th, Caden Forbes gets points in 9th, and CC Brain gets the final point with CC Brain, Speedster, Simo, Midnight, Manalo, and KC being the last of your finishers, with Greeny, Banana, Tomato, Petrox and Fabi not seeing the checker flag. And what a race to start PSGL F2, and if it's like this for the rest of the season, then I can't wait. I definitely did miss this, and it was great to commentate on it all.
Absolutely, it was really fun to come back here after like a month's break that we've had since Brazil, and you know, it's just great to see some fresh faces in this race. And now, I don't know if you're still in the lobby, but we've got Britain's short next week. We are headed to Silverstone, of course. Track favourite. We've got 26 laps, and I believe Rafa won it last season here for that Williams team, if I'm not mistaken, in a wet race, which we are all too familiar with in F2. Hopefully we won't see too much rain in Scene 27.
For the first time, I think, we're going to try some interviews. We're going to try and get at least our top 3 in for interviews. We may get some more because, unfortunately, Codemasters servers are being a bit of an issue at the moment for getting the 8 PM tiers started. So we can interview more people, I think, tonight, which is a good news, I think. So I'm going to see if any of the top 3 are going to come into the waiting room for interviews. So I don't think anyone's waiting at the moment. I think they're just getting their Discord together. And I'm sorry, Michelle, for pronouncing your name wrong. I'll get it right eventually next week, I promise. I should have looked at your Twitter, almost certainly. So, we'll see anyway. But who has been the surprise performance out of the drivers today? Who would you expect to not do well has done well? I've got to say Luca being one of them as well, and Benjamin as well. Don't forget, Benjamin is only 15 years old, and his first season in the second to top tier, he has performed quite well as well, and obviously Lee as well, standout performance too. But yeah, who's been your big surprise that has definitely one to watch out for the season?
You know what, I really got to give it to Luca, considering this is his first ever race without line. He said it in the Twitter chat that he was not confident with no line, and he has managed to put on a good performance, managed to pick up P3. So definitely I'm going to contribute here, nominate him to be driver of the day. Brilliant work from him. Yeah,
you can vote for your driver of the day for these PSGL F2 drivers when the poll goes up tonight or later on tomorrow, as courtesy by our league admins, CC Brain and Greeny LFC, who do a great job on the Twitter account, I've got to say. So Lee wants to actually go and be interviewed, but I don't see him in the box. So Lee, if you're watching, go in the waiting room. Go in the waiting room, Lee, and we will drag you in. Channel is locked, apparently. Okay, so Big C or someone. Oh, there he is. There he is. I think Big C sorted it, or whoever a Discord admin sorted out. So we're going to drag him in to the interview box. Lee, congratulations on your first PSGL F2 outing and your first race in a while. You've gone on there and you've taken the victory. How does that feel to start off your F2 campaign with a win? Oh wait, he's gone. He's gone. He's gone.
He's not in the way. He's not been brought into the channel. He's still in the
I thought he did. Right, okay, I'm just going to check. Lee, can you hear us?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you eventually. There we go. You were in for a second and then you left again. But yeah, Lee, what a great performance for you today. Going on the soft to hard, managing to make it work, getting less penalties, and you managed to take the victory. How does it feel to start off your F2 campaign very, very strongly?
Yeah, it feels great to win. I'm very happy with that. I knew I wasn't the quickest, so yeah, all I could do was just try and keep it on the road, try and get less penalties. I didn't want to risk the car. I just want to bag as many points as possible for the first race, because Australia is a very difficult track, and yeah, very, very happy to start off with a win.
I have seen a lot of practice from you and the other F2 drivers. I've seen quite a lot in the PSGL F2 chat and almost certainly in the VSR chat as well. Could you tell me how many hours of practice did you put into the opening race of Australia? Because it must have been a lot and it must have been worth it.
It was kind of about a couple of hours a day. I usually practice in the evenings, but today I did quite a bit of practice just to try and get that extra consistency, because around Australia you need all the consistency that you can get, and it felt that really helped me today. So,
was you worried about Lamp in the later stages of the race that he could catch up to you?
I did. I did see he was in mediums. He was catching up, but I knew it was difficult to overtake, and I knew that his tires would die off. So, and he had more penalties. So, even if he did get past, then I would have just used him to catch up to Mish. So yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shame you actually got that penalty there, but when we saw that you got less penalties than Mishi, it didn't probably affect you that much as well, and I probably saw where you got the penalty as well. So it's a 12-race season, your first race season after a season off. What would you say is going to be the track you're going to be looking forward to the most this season?
I would say Belgium. It's a track that I really like, and I'm usually quite fast there, so looking forward to that one. And but there's also ones in the calendar that are also very bad for me, like Russia. So need to try and get as many points as possible on the tracks that I'm good at.
Yeah, definitely. And who would you say, looking at all the drivers that were racing tonight, any drivers that you think would possibly challenge you for the title this season after the race?
Yeah, I think based on today, definitely Mish, and also I think Balner. I think he had a poor race, but I know that he's very fast, and also maybe Will as well. There's lots of very quick drivers, so I think any of those guys will be my main rivals.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of any more questions, but I can't think of any. Dan, do you have any extra questions on our race winner today?
Yeah, I might as well ask one. Hello, Lee. Congratulations for your result today. I'm just wondering if that result, is that really boosting your confidence in maybe a title hunt later on in this season? And you could definitely be one. Do you think? Do you think you could be a title contender this season with that result?
Yeah, I believe I can if I can just keep doing what I'm doing, keep driving like I did today. Then yes, I absolutely think I can challenge for the title, especially that I've got early control of the championship. So yeah, I feel that will really help. And yeah, my aim is to challenge for the title. So it's a great start.
Yeah, so sorry.
Thank you very much, and I think that's all the questions. But still, I think we've got quite a few people waiting in the interview box, and I think I'm gonna let Dan do this interview because I know you probably want to do this interview more than me. So here we're gonna have our next person interview. It's not any of the top three, but since the F1, F5, and F6 streams are being delayed, we may as well get another person in. Mr. Caden Forbes, how you doing?
Hello.
I'll hand it over to you, Dan, for the interview.
Hello, Caden.
Yes.
Yeah, how are you going? Well, congratulations on your race today. I believe you finished in about 9th or 10th. Do you think you can be getting higher positions later on in this season? Do you think you have the pace?
Easily. It was a pretty average race for me. I bottled the quali a lot. Maybe I could have started like 4th or 5th, but maybe 3rd. But I bottled the quali a lot. And I mean, if I got past the two in front of me, maybe if I got past CC, I could have had a better race also, because the pace on hards in the DRS train was a lot slower than my practice time. So I think I could have got a better result, but I done the best I can really. So I done a clean race. I mean, I thought I wasn't gonna get anything out of P10, so but yeah, I held on to the tie as well, and I didn't pick up nearly as much pence as practice. So. Could have gone a lot worse.
Yeah, so definitely true. But one other question right now is, who do you think will be your main rivals this season? Who do you think you'll be closest to on pace with, and whereabouts you're going to finish in regards to them in the championship?
I have no clue. Hopefully near the front.
That is true. That would be quite nice. And what about your teammate? Of course, I know you two are very good friends and you practice a lot together. Do you think you can take the fight to him, or is there going to be a little bit of team orders between the two of you?
Well, we're gonna do what's best for the team. Maybe. Well, I let Will pass as he was on the faster tyres like today. So, and if it was him, he would do the same. So, Doddy was better for the team, and he picked up a lot of penalties. So, yeah, I mean, well, I'm just going to do what's best for the team, and we're not going to worry about pace. I mean, we raced in another league before, and our pace was pretty much the same the whole season. So, yeah, I think we're a good match, and we can have a good show at the constructors.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, best of luck to you. That is all my questions, Jess. If you have anything, then yeah, now's a good time.
I don't have any other questions. I can't think of any, but congratulations on getting points in PSGL F2 there, and you did really, really well, and great performance from you. So well done. And hopefully, you can see you challenge for higher points in the races to come. And our final interview person in the interview box, we've got Speedster. How are you doing, Speedster? You were challenging Table Clan to your teammate your teammate for this race towards the end there. Some good team rivalry that will probably boost your confidence there. Tell me how your race went from your perspective.
Hey guys, how you doing? Honestly, I'm pretty happy with that race today. I had good pace. I felt comfortable in the car, and considering that I had no practice whatsoever, I'll definitely take that result. Obviously I'm a reserve going into this season, so my chances to races are limited. But overall, I mean, the way I drove and the pace I had, I can only be happy with. So yeah, obviously the result wasn't too great because of that incident at the end, but besides that, I can only kind of bring back positive feedback for myself for this race.
And you're probably going to be in less pressure, I think, tonight, because you're not scoring points for yourself right now. You're just filling in for drivers as well. But like last season, we saw the likes of Will, who started off as a reserve, and then he came back full-time. And do you think that finishing P11 would be good for you to become full-time in the future if someone drops out of the league, maybe?
Oh, I'd love to become full-time, but, that's all up to Connor. So if he could fit me in, I'd love to get a seat.
Yeah, and I think your performance there probably proves it there as well. And I've got to say, some great battles, I think, all around the grid. Did you plan that strategy all along, going on the tyres that you did, or did you change when you saw other people nearby going into the pit lane?
No, I got very lucky that Cade not qualified me to put me P11 because that let me start on the primes. But when the safety car came out, I figured that I would have decent pace on the mediums once everyone had pit, and that I would also have clean air. So I decided to stay medium soft because I thought that was still the better strategy. And I think it would have worked out. I think I definitely could have got up to P6, P5, maybe even P4, depending on if I hadn't gotten pens at the end, if there wasn't for that incident. But yeah, no, I was pretty confident that medium soft was the right strategy, and not pitting under the safety car was the way to go. So yeah.
Yeah, the VSC, because there was no safety cars, luckily. And since we don't have that much time for more questions, I'll just ask you one final question. If you were to race full-time this season, who would you see as your biggest rival in potentially beating you this season?
There's so many. I mean, you've so many talented people between Caden, Miche had incredible pace, Lee Finley, a lot of other big names up there. PR1 Will, Lamp F1, the legend.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't really know. There's so many names that I think kind of everyone's a threat in this league, which is awesome to see. But yeah, everyone. There's a bunch of names up there.
Dan, do you have any questions for Speedster?
I might as well ask what happened with CC Brain, because I know that you two had a coming together and that pretty much screwed any chance you had of points. So what are you kind of feeling about the incident? Are you going to give your viewpoint here, and do you think you'll report it?
Oh, it's definitely getting reported. I mean, first of all, he was on the hards, I was on the softs. The pace advantage was clear. But listen, he has every right to defend that position. I'm not saying he doesn't, but I went for the move going into the beginning of Sector 2, and we both left each other space. It was fine. We were, barreling down the straight towards the quick left-right. Somehow we stayed side by side through that complex as well. And then when we got back onto the straight, he almost put me in the wall down going through the right kink. He almost put me in the wall, almost took us both out in that one little incident. That could have been very bad if desync had come in. And then going into Sector 3, he just turned in on me, left me no space. In hindsight, I probably should have backed out in terms of me wanting to conserve my race. Had I known he would have turned in, I obviously would have backed out. But yeah, he just left me no space and just shunted it up the inside. And yeah, it spun, and that was pretty much the race over. But you know, up till that point, we were having a great battle. So it was
Yeah, I saw the
unfortunate
whole
for it to
thing
end
in
like
front
that.
of me.
It was unfortunate for it to end like that. But you know, I still think I wasn't at fault, and I think he should have left me more space, especially considering he was on a slower tire. But
Agree.
you know, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and that's how it works in racing.
Really
Yeah.
unfortunate. But best of luck in the rest of the season. Hopefully, you will get more chances to race it and that you can put some practice in for it. But yeah, brilliant performance. Yeah, great pace.
Agreed. Also, check out V8 Field on TikTok.
Oh, no,
do
no,
not.
no, no, no.
Do not.
Oh,
Do
my
not.
God. Yeah, keep it PG, please. Keep it PG.
How is that not PG? I'm curious.
But anyway, I think that's the best time to end the stream there. So thank you guys so much for watching PSGL F2 tonight. And again, we are very much looking forward to covering the rest of the season. We'll get the calendar up once again to remind you what we've got in store next week. We go to Silverstone for the British Grand Prix, a home track for quite a lot of the drivers in PSGL F2. We've got the famous Maggots and Beckett section. We've got Stowe, Club Vale as well, and Hanger Straight. We've got quite a lot of infamous corners, Wellington Straights. I think we're going to have a lot of overtakes next week. Just a quick update on the streams for PSGL F1, F6 and F5. They're going to wait until about quarter to 9, and they'll give you another update. And if the race doesn't go ahead, then they'll probably will have to postpone the race for probably to the end of the season, potentially. Not entirely sure, but it'll be a bit of a shame that the co-masters, unfortunately, Servers die, which may have put chance of us seeing the lovely tears in the flesh. But yeah, we will wait. We're going to be waiting until quarter to 9. If the races don't go ahead by then they'll have to postpone the stream, sadly. But once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and thanks Dan for joining me as per usual for PSGL F2, and we can't wait for next week.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait for the rest of the season, and especially for next week. A lot of drivers going to have their home races at the British Grand Prix, so it's going to be really great to see some of these guys coming out in full force, and we're going to see a brilliant race, I think.
Yeah, and we will see you next week for the British Grand Prix. Have a good evening, and we'll keep you updated on the PSGL Twitter at PlayStation_GL for more information about the other streams. Don't forget to check out Formula Performance tomorrow for the second round of their championship in Silverstone. Have a good evening, and we will see you next Monday at 7 PM UK time. Bye-bye.